In the previous lecture, we were talking about the input function. So we use the input command usually to take inputs from the user while execution of a program. So the input function is very equivalent to the raw input, except that it assumes that the input is valid Python expression and it returns the evaluated result to us. For example, in the following example, if we are writing string equals to input, enter your input, then and we are printing the received input. So here if we enter the input as some arithmetical expression, it will give us the output in the form of evaluated result of the expression whatever we are inputting. Coming to opening and closing files. So Python provides basic syntax, functions and methods necessary to manipulate files by default. You can do most of the file manipulation using a file object. So whenever we in Python use files as objects and we specify functions which work on those objects, for example the open function. So the syntax for the open function is as follows. We have an example over here. The file name is the name of the file whichever we want to open. The access mode is the mode in which we want the file to be opened. For example, it can be read, it can be write, it can be append, etc. Buffering. If the buffering value is set to 0, no buffering takes place. If the buffering value is 1, line buffering is performed while accessing a file. If you specify the buffering value as an integer greater than 1, then the buffering action is performed with the indicated buffer size. If negative, then the buffering size is the system's default size. Here are various modes which have been discussed. Here the various examples given are R, which opens a file only in reading mode. RB is read only in binary format. R plus opens a file for both reading and writing. W opens a file only for writing, and likewise. You can take a look at the table given in the slides. The file object attributes. Once a file is opened, you have one file object. You can get various information related to that file. Here is a list of all attributes related to file object. So the various attributes here are file.closed, it returns true if the file is closed and false if it's open. File.mode returns the mode in which the file is opened. File.name returns the name of the file. File.softspace returns false if space explicitly required with print, otherwise it returns true. So here's an example. FO is a variable and we are assigning this object to this variable. So and then we are printing the name of the object, whether it's closed or not, opening mode, and soft space flag. The close method. The close method of a file object flushes any unwritten information and closes the file object, after which no more writing can be done. So the syntax of the close method is as follows: file object dot close. Here's an example. So we are assigning foo.text to an object and then we are printing the name of the file. So it will print foo.text, and then we are closing the open file by using fo, which is the object dot close. Reading and writing files. The file object provides a set of access methods to make our lives easier. We would see how to use read and write methods to read and write files. The write method. The write method writes any string to an open file. The syntax of the write method is as follows. It doesn't add any new line character, or it works similar to the special characters which we discussed earlier. So here's an example. Here we are opening the file foo.text, then we are writing Python is a great language, and then \n, yeah, it's great. Foo.close. The above program will give us the result as follows. Python is a great language. Then a new line is started. And yay, it's great. And again, a new line is started. The read method. The read method reads a string from an open file. It is important to note that Python strings can have binary data apart from text data. So the syntax of the read method is as follows. File object dot read count. Here pass parameter is the number of bytes to be read from the open file. This method starts reading from the beginning of the file, and if count is missing, then it tries to read as much as possible, maybe until the end of the file. So here is an example. We are opening this file in read and write format, and then we are assigning the first 10 characters to str, and we are printing str. So we get the following result. Read string is, and then the first 10 characters of the file, of the contents of the file. Thank you.